Hey everyone, Anthony Gerbi back with another edition of Thursday Thoughts, and this week I wanted to go over our article of the month, which is posing a very interesting question. It's a very quick read if you want to check out our newsletter, which has the link to the article. But basically, the premise is, why is the U.S. economy doing so much better than most of the other advanced economies in the world? And they throw out some stats like in Europe, growth for last year was barely positive, if positive at all, while the U.S. in just the last fourth of the year turned out over 3% growth, which is actually pretty good, even historically speaking. And then you have countries in Asia like Japan, where their economy shrank in the fourth quarter. So what's going on? What makes the U.S. different? Well, obviously, there are more than a few factors that factor into that. But one of the big things we can point to is, unlike the rest of the world, the U.S. really highly invested in our stimulus for the COVID-19 pandemic. Not that other places didn't do it, but they didn't do it as aggressively as we did. And I know you're probably thinking, well, didn't that aggressive stimulus grow our deficit and our debt and potentially help to cause the inflation that we went through? Yes, it did. But when you compare how we're coming out of the pandemic to everybody else, we kind of did it better, at least so far. And I'm not saying that that will for sure continue. I'm not saying the U.S. has to be the best at everything. But when you look at the results, all the other countries in the world, most of them anyway, experienced a lot of the same high inflation we did, but they're not getting the benefits of the growth. So they kind of tried to split the difference and kind of got the worst of both ends. Where we didn't split the difference, yes, we got the inflation, but we also got growth. And the book is far from being written on that, but this article at least points out what I think is a valid opinion, which is the stimulus from the pandemic is what's helping us grow and possibly, here's the real punchline, avoid a recession coming into this year. So we'll always have to wait and see. That's always the answer. But I think there are some encouraging information. And again, it's our article of the month. So join me next week.